Hello and welcome to another episode of Future Stars, the series in which we take a player with good potential, we skip time and then we get back to them in the future and see exactly how they develop and give you a little taster as to what you can expect if you decided to pick them up. For today's video we have 18-year-old Marco Stamenik from New Zealand. He starts off at FC Copenhagen over in Denmark and with what looks to be fixed potential. His current ability at the start of the game is 96 and then he's able to reach the potential of 156. He plays in the centre of the pitch and is suitable for either defensive, centre or attacking midfield position, and he's very solid with both feet. He's a big lad also, standing at 6'2" or 188 centimetres for the guys who work in centimetres. Copenhagen's asking price at the start of the game is £3.8 million, and it looks to be a good investment. One thing I didn't really check is that he's only recently moved to Copenhagen, I believe, this season, so he might not be available in the first transfer window. I've placed Marco at Middlesbrough because I think he'd fit in well with the Championship. He's around that level. And with the congested fixture list that the Championship has, having 46 games in the season, he'd get a lot more chance to play. And I think the Danish schedule is a little bit more sporadic with games. To begin with, his stats look pretty balanced and he has no real flaws or anything that really stands out. His best asset so far is his technique, composure, his flair and his balance, all standing at 14. What we'll do now is jump 8 years into the future and see how he's performed, how he's going to develop and give you a little taste of what to expect if you wanted to pick him up. So welcome back, and now we've given Stamenik around 13 years to forge his career. He's now 31 years old, so coming towards the back end of his prime as a centre midfielder. I think maybe it's like 32. I think they say 32, 33 is when your peak is gone. Like most players that we will cover at the age of 18, his stats have, like most players around the age of 18 that we will cover in this video, because it's all natural progression and we're not really getting involved with their training and trying to make them develop certain attributes or play a certain style. You'll only see that he's grown a few in each category, but I mean, his stats look pretty solid. But as always, if you want to train him to do certain things or play a certain way, you can always do that. This is just going to give you a good idea of how they progress naturally, and you might want to go out there and try and increase his long shots or something. But if you did that, his stats should pick up in the other areas just like this. But he seems to be a guy who has ice in his veins with 18 composure. His passing and vision is also pretty good at being at 17 apiece. His balance is also really good too. And he looks like he wins a lot of things in the air because his jumping reach is also pretty solid. And he's a big boy anyway at 6'2". But as you can see, he's now worth £47 million, which isn't too bad. And I think he looks pretty well rounded in general, just with his chart up here. So he started out with Middlesbrough, that we moved him there. He played the whole season there at 6.74. Just looking in general, I feel like the amount of games he seems to be playing here, it's just not enough. So that's kind of hindered his performance. We'll check the injuries in a moment to see if that was maybe a reason. But as he kicked on in his career, once he started finding more games in the season, his average rating started picking up. So I want to say that he's pretty consistent when he gets the game time. I mean, this area is probably not one of the best to judge a player off because it's not enough time. But he went from Middlesbrough to Leipzig for 23 million. They must have had a pretty stacked squad then, seeing as he wasn't playing. He then went to Southampton for 2.1 million, which doesn't surprise me, seeing as he didn't play and he doesn't look like a superstar because of, like I say, probably the talent that they had. He just didn't look the same, which is unfortunate for him. But it looks like when he went to Southampton, he kind of revitalised his career. And then in January, I'd assume this is, he went to Leeds, who, when I was looking at this just before, looks like they've done pretty well for themselves. But he went there for 27 million, and this is when he starts performing like a 7 consistently. In his landmarks, he became the most expensive New Zealand player, which doesn't surprise me because I don't think they've had an awful lot of talent in New Zealand. He broke the Friendly Cup record for the fastest goal at 10 seconds. So he's in good company there because Shane Long was one of the holders at some point. In terms of just general competitions, we'll start at here. So he won the OFC Nations Cup with New Zealand in his first year and was also capped by New Zealand the same year at the age of 18. They seem to win their qualification group for the World Cup. First goal at the age 20. They seem to win everything in Oceania. They seem to be winning, which I don't think is the easiest thing, because I think Australia, Japan, Korea could all give them a good run. He did win the DFB Pokal with Leipzig. He was relegated when he went to Southampton the first season, in which must have sent him over to Leeds, in which he won in which he was the Europa Conference League runner-up, which is that the Europa League 2 or whatever the competition's called. Then he kicked on with New Zealand and won the OFC Nations Cup again. Any awards? Any awards? Team of the week, best 11, best 11, and it's into the overall best 11. Freiburg best 11. As of 2028, he seems to be winning Oceania Football of the Year every single year. As I said before, I don't think there's going to be an awful lot of competition, so maybe the award is not that valuable. But I mean, you've still got to perform to win anything, so take it as you want. But this is where I'm going to end the video for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and it gives you an idea of how Marko Stamenik will turn out to be. I'd be grateful if you can drop me a like. It really helps me out for all the algorithms and all that sort of stuff. And make sure to leave a comment. Let me know any feedback that you'd like to give, or any players that you'd like to see in future stars. And if you want to ensure that you see the next upload that goes up of this series or of my main series, Forest Forever, then make sure to click on the subscribe button down below and you'll be able to keep up to date with everything we do there. And as always, have a good one.